Good evening, I'm David Brown, and this is the Northern Sun Experience. We're halfway through the conference football season, and so far so good for Sioux Falls. The Cougars are a perfect 6-0, and they're on a mission after missing the D2 playoffs last year with a 10-1 record. USF faced another tough test on Saturday as they visited upstart and surprising 5-1 Southwest Minnesota State. First drive of the game, Luke Papillion airing it out over the middle to Garrett Shutt. 38-yard pitch and catch, Coup with a 7-0 lead. Back come the Mustangs on their first possession. Blake Gimble finds Devontae Stevens on the screen. Some nice moves, including a spin inside the 5. 18-yard touchdown ties things at 7. 14-7 Cougars now in the second, and adding to it, Papillion to Josh Angulo. Great extension in the end zone. 17 yards makes it 20-7. Move to the second half, Sioux Falls works the ground game. Jonathan Witt with a 3-yard score. USF leads by 20. But give the Mustangs credit for fighting back. Off-play action, Gimble hits Tommy Steidler for the 4-yard score, cutting it to 27-13. Later in the third, it'd be Stevens again, this time on the pitch. SMSU cuts it to an 8-point game in the fourth, but the Coup add an insurance touchdown on this Justin Folks run. Sioux Falls holds on late to stay undefeated with a 34-26 win over SMSU. So could Minnesota State keep up? They visited Concordia St. Paul on Saturday. This is Chad Zastro replacing an injured Connor Thomas with a 30-yard touchdown to make it 38-0. Mavs had a defensive touchdown this game. You just saw an offensive one. So how about some special teams? MSU showing off in all three phases as Brent Esser takes this punt back 75 yards for the touchdown. 45-0 MSU at that point, and the Mavericks tame the Golden Bears 51-10. When we come back on the Northern Sun Experience, more football highlights, including Augustana hoping to bounce back from its loss to Minnesota State as they welcomed Wayne State to Sioux Falls.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Last weekend, Augustana did something no NSIC team has done this season: score second-half points against Minnesota State. Unfortunately, despite keeping things close, the Vikings eventually fell to the Mavericks to drop to 4-2. Augie looking to bounce back on Viking days at home against Wayne State. Already up 7-0 and adding to it, Trey Hyde keeps it himself, finds some room off the right side, and he is gone. 25 yards to pay dirt, 14-0 Augustana. Second quarter, Wildcats claw their way back. Ryan Ludlow gets in from 2 yards out. The extra point is blocked, however, so it's 14-6. Augie responds on its next possession. Hyde to Charlie Hayes. Great fade to the back of the end zone. 7-yard strike, and it's 21-6 Vikings. Wayne State not backing down and keeping it on the ground. 4th and 2, Lane Sullivan keeps it himself on the read option. 39 yards. The lead is down to 21-13. But that's as close as the Wildcats would get. Just before halftime, Hyde finds Jason Greenway for the 13-yard touchdown. And then in the second half, C.J. Ham puts it away, going 44 yards on the screen. Augie up 34-19 at that point, and they'd hang fitty on the Wildcats with a 50-19 victory. Vikings moved to 5-2. Minnesota Duluth looking to do the same at University of Mary. First quarter, Drew Bauer to Bo Bofferding 11 yards out, and it's 7-0 Bulldogs. Second quarter now, Bauer works the play action to Tyler Lattery, 9-yard strike, and it's 14-0. Later in the quarter, UMD working the ground game. Jemiah Newell with the 13-yard scamper, 28-0 at that point, and then just before halftime, Bauer with all kinds of time, great protection by the line, and he'll find Justin Folks just beyond the Marauder defenders. 80-yard backbreaker just before the break. Minnesota Duluth pitches the shutout, 45-0. To the border battle in southeast Minnesota, Winona State hosting Upper Iowa. First quarter, Dimitri Morales takes it in on the delayed shotgun draw. 2-yard touchdown, and it's 7-0 Peacocks. Warriors respond. Jack Nelson to Cam Johnson, diving for the pylon. 11-yard score, and we're tied at 7. Later in the first, Morales works his magic again, eluding defenders and getting the ball across the plane. 14-7 Upper Iowa. It's 21-7 now in the second, when Morales gets his touchdown through the air this time, finding Jared Edmonds for the score. Morales named NSIC Offensive Player of the Week with 3 touchdowns passing, 2 rushing, as Upper Iowa tops Winona State 35-21. Minot State hoping to make it 2 in a row at St. Cloud State. Off to a good start on this Jarvis Mustafer touchdown. The Beavers have a 7-0 lead. They lead 14-7 in the third when Huskies quarterback Nate Meyer keeps it himself. 12-yard score ties things up at 14. Later in the quarter, St. Cloud State takes the lead for good. Great job by Jamison Parsons getting up the sidelines. 42-yard touchdown makes it 21-14 Huskies. And then in the fourth, it's Kurtwan Evans with a 5-yard run as the Huskies take down the Beavers 42-28. The battle for the Battle Axe went down in Moorhead as MSUM hosted Bemidji State. Demetrius Carr to Damon Gibson, 82 yards. Dragons with some hot fire early as they take a 7-0 lead. Bemidji State responds later in the first. Jordan Hine to Blake Holder, 42 yards, and we're tied at 7. Now 14-7 MSU Moorhead when Carr finds Hunter Broughton 14 yards out, makes it 21-7 Dragons. And then it's Carr to Corey Ambrose for the score. Minnesota State Moorhead has a 28-7 lead at halftime, but the entire second half belongs to Bemidji State. Hine to Jordan Oskowiak, that touchdown cuts it to 28-14. Later in the third, it's Hine finding Brady Schmidt as he dives for the end zone. That makes it 28-20. Now tied at 28 when Hine finds Dexter Taylor Jr., 47-yard strike, and the Beavers have their first lead at 35-28. They would get some insurance later in the fourth. Tahi Nomain gets through the line and finds plenty of open space. 45 yards to the house, the Beavers score 35 unanswered second half points to take home the Battle Axe with a 42-28 victory. Finally, Northern State looking for its third win in a row at Minnesota Crookston. Shaka Kelly with a 4-yard touchdown run for the Wolves. And then it's Steven Erlinson with a 6-yard score. Northern gets out to a 21-0 lead, but Crookston shows that it has a ground game of its own. Dre Person, 52 yards. He had 178 yards on the day, but it would not be enough as Kelly gets his second touchdown of the afternoon. Northern State tops Minnesota Crookston 55-21. And while the Golden Eagles may have lost, simply playing the game was more than enough for one of its defensive backs. Lefsey Calderon, a Minnesota Crookston senior, has overcome numerous obstacles since moving to the U.S. from Puerto Rico as a child, after his father was murdered in a drug war. Here's Lefsey in his own words describing his journey from then until now.
When you experience something like that at the age of 4, it's really tough. It pretty much it haunts you for the rest of your life. You really think about it constantly. It was just a great opportunity just to go ahead and up and leave at that certain time because there was a lot of drug wars and a lot of violence going at the time, so it just led us to a new opportunity. Growing up in the neighborhood, we used to always just play pickup football games, and out of nowhere, one of my friends approached me and was like, man, you're good enough to come on and play, on the team. So my first year actually playing organized football was in the 7th grade. It all really starts with my older brothers. They really took care of me, try to keep me out of trouble as far as growing up, witnessing a lot of things in Puerto Rico that you probably come to the United States and don't see. So I just take my hat off to my mom and my older brothers, for leading the way.
An amazing story. Good luck to Lefsey as he completes his college career. Taking a quick look at the national polls and then the Department of Redundancy department, nothing has changed with the top 2 NSIC teams. Minnesota State is still number 1 in the D2Football.com and AFCA coaches poll. Sioux Falls remains at number 4 and number 5 respectively in those polls as well. Minnesota Duluth stays at number 12 in the D2Football.com poll, but moves up 1 spot from 21 to 20 in the coaches poll. Looking ahead to this upcoming Saturday in the NSIC, we've got some great matchups heading down the stretch. Minnesota State will look to move to 8-0 at home as they host Winona State at 1. Other 1 o'clock games include Concordia St. Paul at Wayne State, St. Cloud State at Bemidji State, and Minnesota Crookston at Minnesota Duluth. At 2:30, we have our game of the weekend in the Key to the City battle between 5-2 Augustana and 7-0 Sioux Falls. USF has won the first 3 matchups since the Traveling Key Trophy was created in 2012. Also at 2:30, we have UMary looking for its first win of the season as they visit Northern State. And our night games start at 6 o'clock with Minot State at Minnesota State Moorhead and Southwest Minnesota State taking on Upper Iowa. When we come back on the Northern Sun Experience, more big shakeups in the National Volleyball Poll as another NSIC team with a number 1 ranking can't hang on at the top.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. Considering that Southwest Minnesota State was the national volleyball runner-up last season, and that Concordia St. Paul had won the previous 7 national championships, it's easy to overlook Northern State. But the Wolves are determined to make their mark, having gone from outside the top 25 in the preseason all the way up to number 6. They would face another tough showdown on Friday, though, hosting new number 1 Concordia St. Paul. And it'd be the Golden Bears off to the good start as Emma Lang gets the kill off the setup from Casey Williams. But like the other challenges Northern's faced this season, they rose up and conquered. Tori Biak with the kill for the Wolves, and then it'll be Carrie McGarvey with the throwdown. She had a match-high 19 kills. Northern State remains undefeated this season, topping Concordia 3-1. Minnesota Duluth fell to 5th in the poll this past week. They hosted Augustana Friday. First set, it's the Vikings' Lauren Waite throwing it down off the set from Alex Banker, but the Bulldogs fight back. Mariah Sharp just gets it inside the line for the point, and later it's Ashley Hinch with the setup and Sydney Mock with the kill. Minnesota Duluth starts the weekend off with a 3-1 victory. The number 4 team, SMSU, visited Minnesota Crookston on Friday, and this one was all Mustangs. Claire Sames gets the kill here, and then off the Crookston serve, Megan Larson fools the Golden Eagle defense with the tap over. And finally, it's Kenzie Beekman getting the cross-court kill off the Crookston defender. Southwest Minnesota State is your winner, 3-0. Wayne State, another top 10 NSIC team, was at St. Cloud State on Friday, and the Wildcats dominated this one from start to finish. Katie Hughes had a season-high 17 kills and a season-high 19 digs, as Wayne State topped St. Cloud State 3-0. The Wildcats were looking to continue that momentum Saturday at Minnesota Duluth. Hughes picking up right where she left off with the kill off the left side. Bulldogs would come back, though, on the shoulders of Mariah Sharp with the hammer right here. But Wayne State would tame these Bulldogs and then some. Hughes once again with the setup from Lysa McClintock. Wayne State sweeps the weekend, topping Minnesota Duluth 3-0. Concordia looking to rebound from its Northern State loss as they took on MSU Moorhead Saturday. But early on, it's Claire Grimm with the big kill for the Dragons. Golden Bears would bounce back, however, from their Northern State loss. Anna Schlott gets the kill in the second set, and then Concordia shows off a little defense as Emma Lang and Riley Hansen team up on the block. Concordia St. Paul over MSU Moorhead, 3-0. So with Minnesota Duluth and Concordia St. Paul both losing this week, more shakeups in the national top 25, and Northern State almost became the 3rd NSIC team to be ranked number 1 this season. The Wolves fall just short at number 2, receiving 18 first-place votes, just one shy of the University of Tampa's 19 first-place votes. Concordia St. Paul falls from number 1 to number 4, while SMSU falls one spot from number 4 to number 5. Wayne State, thanks to his win over Minnesota Duluth, moves up to a season-high number 6, while the Bulldogs fall to number 8. Augustana drops one spot to number 21, while Winona State stays put at number 25. Coming up next, we go under the Northern Sun at Northern State University.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. It's time to shine the spotlight on one of our member schools with a feature we like to call Under the Northern Sun. Tonight, it's Northern State University in Aberdeen, South Dakota, where student athletes share what it means to be a wolf.
Northern State University is the heart of South Dakota's largest northeastern city, Aberdeen. NSU enrolls 3,580 students each year and offers 43 undergraduate bachelor's programs, 7 associate degree programs, and 9 master's degree programs. The university has been recognized as one of the best and most affordable institutions in the Midwest. Since its inception in 1901, NSU has been dedicated to providing a superior education for students and student athletes alike. Northern State sponsors 15 NCAA Division II intercollegiate athletics programs, and known as the Wolves, they continue to rise through the conference ranks as a member of the NSIC. Bright futures start here.
think it means to be a Wolf is, for me individually and our team, is to just play with as much passion as we can. All of us play with a lot of passion, and it's fun.
It's an opportunity to succeed whether you're on a team of 17 or 38.
Being a Wolf means more than being part of a team, and it's being part of a community. Go Wolves.
At Northern, it feels like one big team because all of us athletes get to know each other. We all compete in the weight room and in the classroom, and we all support each other when we're all competing.
Being a Wolf to me means being part of a team and always feeling included.
What it means to me is to be a part of a big family. I've got like 100 plus brothers, and then the whole Wolves community is a big family to me.
Being a student athlete to me means giving your full potential day in and day out, whether it's in the classroom, during practice, or at a race, and at the end of the day, just knowing that you gave your best.
Me being a Wolf is having a sense of community because all us athletes are in it together for Northern State University, and I signed here when I was 17. I was a junior in high school, and now that I've been here for 2 years, I think I would stay here until I was 38.
Being a Wolf is about being a part of a family away from home.
I think being a Wolf is great because Northern provides a good environment to push yourself academically and athletically.
To me, being a Wolf means being a part of a community and a program that really makes you feel like you're cared about and makes you excited to play in front of your fans.
To me, being a Wolf means being part of a legacy, as I've been following both my parents' footsteps coming to Northern and having them come to all my games and cheer for me. It's been an amazing experience.
I feel appreciated here, and I enjoy the opportunity to grow and learn from everyone every day here.
To me, being a Wolf athlete means not just being an individual, but being a part of something else. You get to work for your team, and you get to strive and exceeding in everything for someone else. Something about Northern that makes us greater is that we're a smaller campus, so we have lots of support. We also have all the great opportunities of a bigger campus. Plus, the community is great. They're always...
Being an NC Wolf is extremely important to me because the type of relationships you make on campus with all the athletes is something that never happens anywhere else that I've ever been a part of. So the relationships I've made, and then the sort of bonding you make with teammates, something very special.
Being a Wolf means striving to be your best in the classroom as well as on the field.
What it means to me to be Northern State Wolf, just having pride in everything you do, doing a great job, I feel like is expected in this community and at this school, taking pride out on the football field and in the classroom. I mean, as you can see, all these great athletes that are behind me, doing it for all those guys and all the athletes to come. That's what being a Wolf to me really means.
To me, being a Wolf means being a role model, not only in the community, but for the younger children, and stepping up and being the best person that you can be.
Coming up next, it's DB's Picks, the top 5 plays of the past week in the NSIC.
The Northern Sun Experience on Midco Sports Network is presented by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and Dakota Land Honda.
And welcome back to the Northern Sun Experience. It's time for DB's Picks, my top 5 plays or moments of the past week in the NSIC. And at number 5, we'll start with Mr. 5 Touchdowns. Upper Iowa's Dimitri Morales threw for 3 and ran for 2 in Upper Iowa's 35-21 victory over Winona State. The junior quarterback's always provided a versatile threat for the Peacocks and was honored for his performance this past weekend with the NSIC Offensive Player of the Week. 5 touchdowns will get you started on my top 5. For number 4, a little love for special teams. Minnesota Duluth's Drew Brees hits a 57-yard field goal against UMary. The kick set a new school record at UMD and was just 2 yards shy of the all-time NSIC record. Now, in the grand scheme of things, his 3 points didn't really matter in a 45-0 Bulldog victory over UMary, but Brees' boot helped get him play number 4 of my top 5. At number 3, we head to Moorhead, where Damon Gibson is in it for the long haul. Demetrius Carr hooks up with Gibson for an 82-yard touchdown in the opening quarter against Bemidji State. It was the longest touchdown of the weekend, but it only checks in at number 3 because it comes in a loss in the battle for the Battle Axe. Despite the lack of a victory, this play is still a cut above. For number 2, we go to St. Paul, where Minnesota State shows off its special teams against Concordia. Brent Esser takes the punt, makes some nifty moves, and finds his way into the end zone from 75 yards out. Esser's run back helped MSU move to 7-0 and helped him grab play number 2 of the past week. But our number 1 play goes to Minnesota Duluth's Justin Folks. The UMD receiver slips behind the UMary defenders to haul in this 80-yard touchdown just before halftime. Here it is again, quarterback Drew Bauer has all kinds of time thanks to his offensive line, and Folks finds a soft spot in the defense. Now that gave the Bulldogs a 35-0 lead at halftime. It propelled them to a 45-0 victory over the University of Mary. It moved them to 5-2 and provided Folks with the number 1 play of the past week. Once again, a thank you to all of our NSIC member schools for their time and their contributions to this week's show. We'll be back next week with yet another Northern Sun Experience.